Happy Wednesday, everybody, and good afternoon. I hope you liked my little introduction there, something I added. And so I'm so excited to be here with you on Wednesdays. I'm always excited to be here. Um, oh, thank you, Michelle. I'm glad that you love it. Thank you so much. I am using like a new software. I totally upgraded so I can see people's comments and show the comments on screens, and I could do a whole bunch more on it. So I'm so happy to be here. So today, unless you guys come up with some other questions for me to answer today, I was going to be covering the sign of Leo. And so I have a Facebook user over here saying, "Hi, Samantha dear, but I don't know who you are." So I think when you're using Facebook that you need to maybe enter or give permission for them to use your name for me to see who is talking or commenting in StreamYard. So, but whoever said hi, Samantha dear, hi back to you. Thank you. So, my goodness, you know what? Mars, I just have to mention Mars before I even go into the sign of Leo. I mean, Mars, made that transition, of course, from going from fire into water right over that Gandanta point. And, for people, depending upon their charts and what DASA period that they're running in, this could have really had a huge impact on their life. Or, upheavals, or maybe, it doesn't necessarily have to be negative. And I'm going to tell you guys why. So for each ascendant sign, this is why it's so important to know your ascendant sign. No. Hold on here. I got somebody commenting in. Oh, I love this. So the Facebook user says, "Does it show who I am?" I'm like, no, it doesn't. So I have no idea who you are. You're going to have to let me know. So this is wonderful. But so for each ascendant sign, a different, planets rule different houses. And depending upon where the rulers of those houses are, whether that planet gives a negative or a positive effect. That's why, when some people, their Venus works beautiful in the chart, and for others, Venus is treacherous, right? And for some people, Jupiter is just like wonderful and does all this magnificent stuff. And then for another chart, it's like, no, Jupiter is horrible. Some ascendants love Saturn. And when they come into that Saturn Dasa period, their life just gets so much better. And then, but then with others, they dread Saturn and it just like their whole life falls apart. And so this is really dependent upon the ascendant sign and what houses that they rule. So, any planet, whether it be Saturn, Mars, Sun, Venus, Moon, if it rules like the fifth and ninth house, or the second and ninth house, then, it's going to that's going to be a very, very positive dasa period. But let's say it's ruling like a third and eighth house. No matter what planet it is, it doesn't matter. Whatever planets rule the third and eighth house, it's going to be not a very graceful and positive experience for the person. So, and of course, other factors are taken into place, but you have to realize this really does stand true. So Michelle, huge impact here, and same with Pluto stationing, right? Yes. So not only that we got, Mars now going over that threshold of the Gandanta point, we've got Jupiter's coming up on station, which is going to be significant, you guys. And this really is about, there's going to be a change worldwide in power. And you guys are going to see this. And it's not to scare anybody. People are so scared of change because they're scared of the unknown. But we have to, at some point in our life, have to trust the universe. And if we're doing what we need to be doing and we're doing the best that we can and we're staying in that self-awareness, that know that we can fluctuate with the changes. We could just move with the changes and it will be okay. It will turn out okay. It's just turbulent. And the reason why it causes so much turbulence is because, let's be honest, most of the people in the world don't want change. They are fearing the change, even though they know the change is coming. And they like their life exactly how it is. And it doesn't matter who somebody else's or what somebody else's life is like. They don't want that that evolution. So they want everything to stay status quo. And, we're not supposed to stay status quo. We're not supposed to be living like caveman. We have evolved from caveman to now. And of course, there's a lot of, things that have taken place in that evolution. And some of it's been really, really hard. And we've had to learn really, really difficult lessons. But I think society is at the point where we're really learning that, communism doesn't work. But we do need some type of structure. But this whole division and this whole war mongering, violence and abuse doesn't work for us anymore. I don't think we really have the tolerance for it. And I think worldwide, we need to stay conscious and really, just say, this doesn't work. This isn't going this just can't happen anymore, right? And I'm talking about worldwide on every tragedy, not just in one particular. So I think we're going to see really dramatic changes, but I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy. Pluto is not an easy planet. It is the epiphany of Scorpio, of the 8th house. Transformation. And sometimes it's just so true that us humans don't want to change unless it hurts bad enough. And let me tell you what, with Jupiter expanding, because remember, Jupiter expands, right? And he's going over Pluto. And So whatever Pluto is digging up, all that garbage, because he just is getting done from going retrograde, um, Jupiter's going to bring it out in such a big way where we're not going to have a choice to change. And also, don't forget that they're going to be joining Saturn shortly. So there is something else that's really, really big that we have to look forward to, because Saturn's going to be like, what's fair and what's not, you know. And I think that, Saturn's really going to bring in that different type of service that the government does for the people. And as I said, it's going to be kind of scary in the beginning, because people are going to really feel unsure about it. They're not going to understand or know how, or what it's going to look like on the other end. But again, at some point, we've got to trust in the universe. I mean, there's got to be at some point where, we don't think it's doomsday, because it's not doomsday. And when Michelle is available, I would love it to be able to do an episode with her, you guys, a special on and Michelle, I'm not sure if you can hear this. I'm kind of I'm volunteering you here a little bit, but we are going from a time period of Mars ruling and dominating kind of the universe and the flavor of it into a Venus period. And I really want to explain why that is, and how maybe, with Michelle, how maybe that's going to look. I mean, what would it look like going into a Venus period from Mars? Because, Mars is about war. And I mean, yeah, it's our self-will, but he's the not the army. Saturn's more the soldiers in the army, but he's that general, right? He's right up there by the sun. I'm going to fight to survive. I'm going to fight to win. I mean, that's what Mars is. A Tomastic planet like that. Planet. That's why it goes sun, moon to Mars. Sun, moon, and Mars. You got your creation and giving birth, right? And then Mars is right after that. And what does Mars do? We had to be Mars. We had to fight to survive. We went through some really, really, really hard times. And so for us to evolve and protect ourselves and to be able to eat, right? I mean, all of that Tomastic stuff, earthy stuff, we needed Mars to fight. And have that willpower to assert our will. So Mars is so healthy for us until it becomes not healthy. And when we exaggerate it and move it to a point where we are hurting others just because we believe, in a certain way, then it doesn't become so good. But that's, again, comes back to, the individual self-awareness. So, but we do need more. But, I just very curious. And when Michelle is available, I would love to do that episode with her. What would it look like to have when we go into our Venus transitioning period? And I'll pull out all the stats on it, like how long it's going to be, exactly when it's going to start. But I think it'll be absolutely beautiful, because I tell you what, I think the world's done with the war and the violence. And not that I think some's going to definitely break out during this current period. And I think, we've already seen it with the riots and everything else, and the storms. And I think this is going to maybe be that last big one, where people are just not, we're just going to be done with the violence and the war. So, and what did let me see here. I prepared some things. And I forgot to put them up here. It's just like, this is like so cool. I'm being like a little kid. It's not, so I am missing a few of mine. That's okay, I guess. But at least I got my little breakthrough astrology thing up there. And There we go. So, anyways, let's go to, yeah, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, I think it'll be wonderful. So just let me know when you're able to do that, and we'll put something together. Give us a couple weeks to prepare it at least. So last week I talked a little bit about the sun, and and if you remember, it's such a sophic planet that really, if we're in our true sun, that the sun has no ego, zero. And it's all about giving, giving, giving. Because if you remember, I was mentioning about the sun being in the sky. What does he take from us? He does not take anything from us, zero. He just gives and he gives. And it doesn't matter how we act. We can complain. We can go out there and burn ourselves, or we can, grow our garden out there. But he just keeps giving and giving and giving, because that's what he does. And just like a father with a child would give, 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 and give selflessly without anything in return. And it doesn't matter what the child acts like. The father is still going to give to the children, and make sure they're well provided for without complaining. Oh, I had to work all day, and you guys owe me. A father shouldn't be doing that. So that's really what the sun represents. But I wanted to talk a little bit, not necessarily about the fifth house, but I wanted to talk about the sign of Leo, because as we know, depending on our charts, Leo can fall anywhere from the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth house, even though it's a natural fifth house sign. But that the sign of Leo really is about our creative intelligence, our Ajna Nakshatra. And again, it's that sattvic sign. Now, depending on where Leo can be at in your chart, this is where our creativity is. This is where and let me pull up my notes here really quick, so I'm just not going necessarily off my memory. So Leo seeks to follow their inspiration and intuition. So whenever you find where you have Leo at, that's where you're going to really see your inspiration and your intuition lighten up. Okay. And especially if you have a planet in there, it's a very positively charged sign. And it is completely masculine. It's completely male. Okay, just like the moon is completely female, completely receptivity. The sun is completely, it does nothing but give, give, and give. The moon does nothing but receive, receive, receive. That's why wherever our moon is at in our charts, the moon has no choice but just to fill, because that's all the moon does. It doesn't put out anything, it just fills. So whether good or bad, it's just receiving whatever it's getting. Okay. But now the sun is quite the opposite. It's a doer, and it wants to shine bright. And when somebody really does stand firm in their sun, where their sun is in such good dignity in their chart, these people are actually very humble. Okay, our ego comes from the third house, by the way. All right. And Mars can be very egotistical, right? But the sun is not ego. So when you see somebody acting out of ego, then you got somebody, something else is happening with the sun. All right. It's like maybe in the third house, it's maybe with Mars, right? There's other influence, but the sun in its purity is humble. It's humbled because it's got so much to give, and it doesn't have to try. It just is. It just is. And that's humbling. So also, Leo is also a very fixed sign. So, and it likes to, and it prefers perfecting the things they have started rather than starting new things or being flexible and open to many possibilities. And that's one thing about fixed signs that people don't realize, um, how they're so positive also in our chart, as long as we don't get stuck in it. But they do, especially Leo is very creative, but it really is about finishing and perfecting what you got instead of starting something new. And so I think that's really, really important that we have these, and everybody's got the fixed signs, whether you got planets in there or not, they are still operating in your life. Okay. I promise you that nobody's missing out on anything. And I hear so many people mention, um, all the time, oh, well, I don't have any Leo or I don't have Aquarius. Yes, you do. You do. Because each one of our planets rule these signs. So, and they're in your chart. You have all 12 signs in your chart, all 12 houses. It's the planet that lords over these signs sits somewhere in your chart, and that's where you will see the effects of those houses. So if you have a house, a planet that rules your fifth and ninth house, and it's in your, let's say, 11th house, that's where you're going to see the results of your fifth and ninth house. So let's say Venus rules it, and Venus is in your 11th house, your fifth and ninth house, in that Venetian way, right, of creativity, your dharma, and your higher knowledge and your higher wisdom and all that love is going to come out in the 11th house of society and bigger aspirations, right? So that's just kind of how you work that, and that you have every sign working every day in your chart. So, also, Leo has four legs, and it has a high capacity to move forward and persevere when things get tough. And just kind of like that lion, right? He's strong and he's quite capable, and yeah, he could be a little bit lazy. Lions like to sleep around, and I didn't mean it in that way, by the way. So please don't take that wrong. Everybody don't take that wrong. I meant it's a cat. Cats like to lie around, and sleep during the day. They're a little bit more active at night, but at the same time, they're strong and they're capable. They're agile, and they're just a force to be reckoned with. And we need that in our life, no matter where we're at, so that we can persevere to make sure that we succeed and push through our goals and to our purpose. So Leo, that sign of Leo, is such an important house, wherever it may fall in your chart, is so important. And I don't care if it's the sixth house, eighth house, 12th house, it could be a negative house. It's still a really, really important house. And even if it's a negative house, the only thing that it means is that we're learning how to use that energy through that lens in this lifetime. Okay, so that's all that it's talking about. What else do I want to cover on Leo? So, also with the Leo, the sun is the Lord of Leo, and of course, it's fire expressed in a fixed form, and it's through the sign of Leo that the chart is illuminated by the sun. So it's all about the ability, to sacrifice. And again, this is when I was talking about the father, is the ability to sacrifice our lower forms for something that is greater than us. So it really is about, not worrying so much about our needs personally, but we're looking to others to give to others. And being able to provide in whatever shape or form that is to other people. So that, I think, is really, really important wherever we see the sun. And of course, again, with all the influences, but wherever the sun is at, it's going to bring that type of energy into that house. Okay. And again, sometimes, if it lands in the third house, and especially with Mars, we may have some negative experiences, but those experiences is for us to learn and grow from that sign and learning to become humbled. It's just how, in what way are we learning it, right? Are we learning it through tough lessons, or maybe in this lifetime it becomes easy? So always make sure you take both into account. So what else I wanted to say? The sun, okay, that's the sun in the first house. So the fixed quality of fire allows the path of Leos to be illuminated in a steadfast and inspirational way. Again, that it's your anja nakshatra, not nakshatra, excuse me, chakra, and this is our creativity. This is our creative intelligence, right? When we have a really, really good sun in our chart, if we don't, we want to work on this chakra. All right. That means the chakra is blocked. But when we have this chakra working really well, that sign of Leo and whatever house it is working really, really well in our house or in our chart, it really is about giving, you not only being inspired to action, but you're that leader who inspires others to action. It's going to be like that father who inspires their children to live up to what he's doing. And I know, I have you ever seen some of those, some kids saying, I inspire, my father has inspired me, or this leader has inspired me, right? It can be a leader in a community that's acting like the sun in our life. And the sun has natural power and charisma. And it really does. It allows a native to attract what they need to blaze a trail through life and be recognized for it. And so, and just let you guys know that I have been studying, and I just kind of wanted to mention this. That I have been studying under Sam Gappy for a long time now. I'm actually taking his certification course. So my knowledge, because I've got Saturn right now transiting my fifth house, and I'm in a Saturn Dasa period, and Saturn rules my fifth house. So I am upping the game on my education and really becoming certified in pranic healing. I'm going to be certified in astrology, and just, not that I had to by any means, but you know what? I just feel that if I'm going to be coming out as a leader, and if I'm coming out as this type of professional, that I want to be that inspiration for other people, not just because of my life story or what I'm doing, but also show them, you got to put in the hard work. And when you get the really good education, you can be very, very even more creative, and come out a little bit more humbled and stronger in your message and what you're teaching people. So, and there's, I guess, a beautiful way of, that's how my sun works in my chart, right? I got to live what I'm doing. I think that's really, really important. So there's that natural power and charisma, and I got the sun in my first house, and I'm just now coming out to recognize what it is and what I need to be doing with it. So wherever you guys may have sun in your house, like, if you have it, even if you have it in your third house, and I know third house isn't the best house, but however, when we get control of that sun, we can really shine in our communication. We can really shine with our siblings. We can really shine with teaching others. And being that type of, of teacher and presence in people's life, right? We can shine as that neighbor. So, and if like the sun is in the ninth house, you can really, really shine at being a guru, right? Being that professor, even, or that higher spiritual teacher. It's not just Jupiter. Jupiter is a belief, not necessarily beliefs, excuse me, values, but it is beliefs. It's religion, also. But the sun comes out as, again, somebody who is very, very humbled and is pure power, and he really is what people want to inspire to be. So Jupiter has that quality, but not to the extent that the sun does. So even like, if you're a Leo natives feel vulnerable in letting go of their power, self-image, and personality, as well as relaxing into life's ups and downs. And I just kind of wanted to mention that because we're talking about the sun, and now we're, with a Leo native, with your sun being in Leo or a Leo rising, um, the sun is all about power, power, power. And so Leo natives are having to learn to let go of that powerful self image. And that is very, very humbling, because I'm telling you, wherever we have that sun in our house, is where we really do shine and we have power. And so we really want to look and see where the sun is and really embrace that and move forward with it. Um, so I've just seen here, if I wanted to mention anything about our Leo. Um, No, I think I covered everything I wanted to do. So, and of course, but that's about the sun, not necessarily Leo. So, and I just kind of wanted to keep it to Leo today, and we're already at 31 minutes today. So that is all. If you guys have any questions about the sign of Leo, and you're more than welcome to, put it up here, and I will definitely ask it for, or answer it for you guys, to my best of ability. But just as I'm wrapping up here, remember, Leo is a fire sign. It's fixed, it's male, it's sattvic, it's quadruped, it's large, and Mars does really well in the sign of Leo, but of course, depending upon the house, and of course aspects. So I shouldn't say it does well, but it does. Mars does work well. It's exalted, though, in the sign. Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn, but Mars, of course, and Mars does well in any fire sign. So the lion is ruled by the sun. Let me see. It's front rising, large limbed, very much can be violent. And of course, a lion can be violent, and it's not violent in a way that Mars would be violent. It's more violent in a way that I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to protect my family. I need to protect the children. But we want to look at the difference in the violence here. And even though it is a sign of Leo, and it is recognized by the lion is very humbled in the position of where he rules at. So it is Eastern rising, you guys, and it's very vigorous during the day. So I think that's I'm going to end with that. Know that, wherever the sign of Leo is, you guys, look at it in your chart. That's where you're really going to find the creative intelligence. But also know, if you know your chart well enough and you know that you're having a little bit of problems in that house, the sign of Leo, and or you're having a little bit of problems with your sun, start when you're meditating, start focusing on your Aja Nakshatra and start cleaning this nakshatra chakra and start cleaning this chakra out. Unblock this chakra. And you're going to be amazed at that, where that is at in your life will clear up and start going smooth. This is how it works. Every planet, all right, is associated with a certain nakshatra, and I'm going to be doing something on that also. Just right now, I'm trying to finish up my ground zero program, but and I'll let you guys know when I do something on the chakras and the planets and how we need to clear them out and how we can actually really unblock a lot of our energy um, with clearing out our chakras in our chart, and how how it really relates. So we know if we have a problematic area in our chart, that we can go right to the chakras and really help alleviate those problematic events. So happy Wednesday. This is Mercury Wednesday. So happy Wednesday, you guys. And I'm so glad that you showed up and joined today. And I will be doing my radio show on Expat Media tomorrow at 1 p.m. And I'm going to be doing that every Thursday. So, and then me and Michelle, and I do believe, Michelle, that might be available on Friday, but I will definitely be here for Venus Friday, maybe with Michelle at 1 p.m. Make sure, please hit like and subscribe and share. So I thank you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Namaste.